back to the farting thing. I just can't get over this because she's so cute and she's so tiny. And like, here's the thing. My girlfriend is the perfect mix of, like, she likes to wear guys' clothes and she has a lower register voice most of the time. And she's dude-like. Even her job is dude-like. And she can rumble with the boys. But then she can get so delicate and dainty and so girly that I feel like the Jolly Green Giant next to her. Like, it's crazy. So here is this beautiful, little, delicate, gorgeous, sexy, and then all of a sudden it's like... And I mean, they go on forever. Like, I've seen one where it's like almost her ass takes a breath and starts again. So it's like... Like, it's ridiculous.
The first time he ever came over to the house when we were just dating and we were watching a movie together, and all of a sudden this huge noise comes out of his ass. And he looks at me and he says, well, better out than in. And I'm like, what?
She would actually leave the room, get out of the car. She was very, very good about that. And then one day I accidentally let one slip in front of her, so apparently the gloves were off.
Yeah.
And she could just shit herself on a regular basis in front of me. And early in the relationship, we promised, because my best friend, she's always like, no, what you do is you hotbox them, you know, you lock all the windows and you fart and gas them out. And I looked at my girlfriend and I said, we're never going to be that couple. Promise me. We're never going to be that couple. And she said, oh, no, we'll never be that couple. Well, if she didn't one day walk over to me, tilt her cheek just a little bit, let out a fart, and walk away. And I'm like, we're not that couple! Apparently, we're that couple.
Yeah.
So, and the funniest thing is like, she can't stand the smell of herself. Like, she's like, after... And I always smell it first.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, you stink. And she's like, you can't smell that. I'm like, wait for it.
This is no longer the partner episode. It's the fart episode.
Oh, my God. But it's coming from my partner.
But, you know, and on a more serious note, let's change the subject from farts now.
Oh, okay.
So, you've known me a long time.
I have.
And, you know, like, we've gone through a lot of stuff, my partner and I. And being a couple isn't just about the good times. Mm-hmm. It's sticking by them through the bad times. So we've had struggles. He's had struggles with mental health issues. And, you know, I've got some anxiety issues because of what happened. And in another episode, we're going to talk about mental health issues because, you know, both of us have dealt with it. But it was the hardest time of our relationship, seeing him going through something like that and not knowing what to do and feeling so totally helpless. And yet I was angry at the same time. And finally, when he got better and, you know, after therapy and after help, we could talk about it. And I could finally tell him, you know, I was really angry because I thought that I wasn't enough for you. And that's not it at all. And for all the couples out there going through this, you need to talk about it. You need to keep the lines of communication open. If you can't talk to your partner because they're right in the middle of something, you need to find somebody to talk to because it's not good to hold it in. But when you get through that and they know that you're there to support them, it's the best thing in the world.
And you can't take it personally.
You can't.
You absolutely cannot. And one of the things that breaks my heart that my girlfriend will often say to me is, thank you for putting up with me. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, who have you had in your life that you feel like you have to be put up with? Yeah. And she has her own struggles and her own challenges. And one day she just looked at me and when she was going through some of these challenges, and she said, why are you still with me? Yeah. And I said, I don't deserve the good times if I can't see you through the difficult times.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there are times where, it's hard. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And there's times where I feel it feels like a personal attack, but then I got to realize it's not about me at all.
It's not.
And I need to put my ego aside and be there for her and support her through it. But I also need to know that I need to have my support systems in place. So you are my go-to, because one of the things I've learned is from watching other people, when we're having challenges or struggles with our partner, we automatically go to our family and our friends to vent. I don't want to do that because I don't want to discolor their view of her.
Exactly.
Because of one bad day or one challenge or one struggle, because there's so many amazing things about her that I don't want my son or my mom or my best friend or anybody, thinking poorly of her because we've had one rough day. So I look for somebody who's able to make that disconnect, like to be able to compartmentalize. And that's important too, is that, and again, we will cover this under mental health, is making sure that there's a support system there for you as well. And to, when you have to vent about your partner, first of all, your partner is the person you should be talking to.
Yes.
But every now and then you do need to talk to somebody to just kind of to find out if what you're feeling is valid, but make sure that it's somebody who's not going to just pick your side.
Exactly.
Not just going to side with you and say nasty things about your partner, because you're also putting that person in an unfair position, because your partner is your partner and they're going to be around, and
you want someone who's going to put it in perspective for you. Who's going to say, you're taking this personally and you shouldn't, who will show you the other side of it and make you realize that. And sometimes that's all you need. You just need like a reset. You just need to rethink things because emotions do get high and you're tired and you've been struggling and it's hard. But then all of a sudden you know that, what they're going through is hard too. And they're going through a hard time. And if you want to be able to be there for them, you need to be strong yourself.
Yep. So you've got to be patient, be strong, put in the work, make an effort. Don't take anything for granted.
Never.
And I think this is where it's cool that you and I are talking about this, because I'm still in a new relationship and you've been in yours for 14 years. So we're at both ends of the spectrum, right? And I think that your relationship is worth working on.
It is.
It's worth the elbow grease. It absolutely is worth the elbow grease. And when... It's so funny because when she comes home from work, and even if I've only made craft dinner, she's so excited. Yeah. She's so grateful that there's something there for when she comes home. Yeah. And she gets up and she does the dishes. Like it's not like it's one-sided. Yeah. Like, for example, today she was out shoveling and I slept. I have injuries. That's another thing we'll address in another episode is chronic pain. But, and she only has one shovel, so I couldn't really help. So I got up and I made sure that there was a hot breakfast waiting for her when she came in. Yeah. And I had a hot chocolate ready for her. And then I did the dishes. And then I made lunch and I did the dishes and I made supper. She did the dishes from supper, but it was like she was out there shoveling, so I'm in here doing this.
So you're a team.
Well, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly how it needs to be. And it's not that the meals are always going to be my responsibility, but she can't cook so good, so they probably will be.
Yeah, no, he can't cook very good either, so I don't mind doing the cooking.
But one thing she said early on, and I'm hoping it still stands true, she's like, I want you to teach me. I want to learn how to make the things that you like. Because the lasagna that she made that one day,
without the cheese?
Well, no, it did have cheese on it, but it wasn't that it wasn't good. Because she loved it. But there were chunks of carrot in it. So it was crunchy.
In lasagna.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I thought maybe shredded in if you wanted in. But no, these were crunchy chunks of carrot in the lasagna. So that was a texture thing I had to deal with. And she calls me picky when it comes to food. But there was something about the taste. And then I looked and I asked her, what kind of cheese did you use? She said, cheddar. I'm like, oh. Why? I said, I usually use mozzarella, but if you don't want it or if you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. And she stormed away. And this was the first time she ever snapped at me. And I'm like, it's really good. And I ate it. And I was like, oh my God, I just hurt her feelings. And she felt bad for getting mad at me. Yeah. And then later what it was is she was hurt. Not because I didn't like it. It was that she told me she wanted to impress me and make something that I liked. And it was in that moment that I was the first time I noticed our age difference and went, right. Yeah. She's still young. This is a different type of relationship than the last one she was in. Yeah. And I make all sorts of efforts. She wanted to do the same. Yeah. But I'll never forget that. If you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. And I was like, oh, that's good. It's really, really,
one time.
She uses mozzarella from now on. I'm just saying. Because the cheddar's a little too overpowering.
Yeah, for sure. One time we were out at a fair with a friend of ours, and we were walking along, and there was a whole bunch of kids, and there was wires running along the ground, and he tripped. And because there was kids there watching, he was angry because he tripped. And I'm like, are you okay? Can I help you up? No, I'm not okay. Just, yes, leave me alone and I can get up. And he was very rude and like not like him. And he went on and said a few other things. So we're walking along and I'm way ahead. And my friend comes up and I said, and he was trying to talk to me. And I said, you tell him that I'm not talking to him right now. And I'm stomping off. And finally we get in the car and he's like, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry too, but I'm still not talking to you right now. I just need to calm down. So it was funny. And my friend never lets me forget that. She's like, are you talking to him right now? Yes, I'm talking to him. But things like that happen.
Well, and communication is important too, right? Because again, she is younger than me and her last relationship was very different. She's used to me being like bubbly and outgoing and energetic and always talking. And there are days where I'm just quiet.
Yeah.
Because one, I'm either dealing with my depression, or two, I just need to recharge my batteries.
Yeah.
And she's afraid that it's something she's done. So I actually have to communicate with her. She said, just tell me if you think you're going to have a quiet day. So this actually happened not too long ago. I said, listen, I'm just giving you a heads up. Today's probably going to be a quiet day. Why? What's wrong? What'd I do? But I'm like, no, I'm doing what you told me to do. But she gets concerned then. She's like, what can I do? What can I do? I said, nothing. Just sit here with me and watch movies. Yeah. But just so you know, if I don't talk for a long time, I'm not upset with you. I'm not. And some people might look at that as hand holding.
Yeah.
But it's just validating. It's just letting her know that there's something going on with me and it's not her fault.
Yep. Sometimes we sit on the couch watching TV, or I'll be reading and he'll be watching TV, and we might go a couple hours without saying a word to each other. And then all of a sudden we'll either start talking or, Yeah. Sometimes you just don't. After you've been together long enough, you can just sit and enjoy the quiet.
We've been able to do that for a while, but it's just every now and then and I think especially if she's feeling anxious or agitated about something, she'll project and she'll worry.
Yeah.
But, we've been talking about our partners now for like 42 minutes.
Wow.
We don't even talk to them that long.
No, we don't. Exactly. We talk about them, though. It's easy.
I do want to mention one thing that I can't understand. She doesn't let me sleep. If she wakes up first, she has to wake me up.
Oh, my God. I have one like that, too.
And it will not let me sleep. And so then I wake up. And so I start pestering her. She doesn't like her belly button touched. Actually, she calls it a button. No touching my belly button. So I call it the off button. Or I'll pick at her ears, or I'll tickle her feet, or I'll, whatever. And she's like, stop it. Why do you have to be so pestery? I'm like, well, you should have let me sleep.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I think that's enough for now if we would like to stay with our partners.
I think so, too.
I think so.
Just remember, communication, laughter, talking.
Forgiveness. And also, don't forget that taking time alone is healthy. And that's something lately that my partner has been struggling with a little bit, because she started to enjoy time to herself and she thinks that's us growing apart. Yeah. And I said, no, that means we're actually stronger and healthier. Yeah. Because you can go do your own thing and I'm still going to be here when you come back, and vice versa.
At least once a week I do something on my own.
Yeah. 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 We're still in the lovey-dovey honeymoon. I always got to be around you. And I'm a super affectionate person. That was something else she had to get used to. I'm a touchy-feely person. So I always have to be touching her. And I know she likes it. Sometimes I think she's just like, get your hands off me, you octopus. Get off me. All right. Well, be sure to tune in to our next episode, because we're going to talk about parenting and share some of the stories of raising our turds. But remember to subscribe, to share, to click, to help get the word out if you enjoy the Wine and Whiskey Socialites.
So cheers until next week.
Cheers.